The Eagles are being gutted a little bit right now as free agency is well underway. I'm Coy Camiscioli from Philly Sports Talk. First podcast in a while. I kind of took a little bit of a break after the Super Bowl win, to be honest with you. And the Sixers, they don't have much to talk about. So we actually, I do have a podcast coming on the Sixers and what I think of what's going on, Joel Embiid and all of them. But not today. Who cares, really? They are a disaster. They're not going to make playoffs. This is an Eagles podcast. I got to stop right there. So, first one in a while, again, as I said. But we're back, and there's a lot to discuss a little bit. A lot of guys coming in, a lot of guys going out, a couple of extensions. And the Eagles, we have an interesting kind of dynamic going on. I wasn't expecting to be gutted this much, but I think that's because I was a little too optimistic going into the offseason, thinking that we're going to be able to keep everybody and sign everyone that we want. It's not a reality for any team, especially a team coming off a Super Bowl victory, as players are going to cost a little bit more, and we still have a good thing going on here. So we'll talk about. I'll break down everybody coming in, everybody going out, and the couple of extensions. By the way, got the new Super Bowl banner. If you guys are watching on YouTube, had to hang that up immediately. Pretty cool. But yeah, so I'll break down everyone going in and out. We'll start with going out because there is a lot going on here. And the first one, we'll start with the banger. Not in a good way. C.J. Gardner-Johnson to the Texans via trade. I was not a fan of this deal. I think there's a lot going on that we are not really knowledgeable on, like in terms of salary cap and extension wise and all that stuff. But to me, it still seemed like it was a little unnecessary. We get Kenyon Green in the process, who's an offensive guard from the Texans. He's going to replace Mekhi Becton. I'll talk about that a little bit later. And I don't know. CJ Garner Johnson is kind of the fire of our defense. I saw a stat today that he let up like 9 touchdowns in coverage or something like that. But I don't know. He kind of brought the life to our defense. It's not really much of a coincidence that we were, so aggressive in 2022, and then 2024 we're also, as aggressive as we were. And then that gap year in 2023 where he was gone and so things weren't going right. Gardner Johnson was the heart of this defense, and I don't know. That's why I was really kind of upset to see him go. He brought a lot of life. Looked like everybody wanted to tackle and hit hard. So this one was a little concerning to me, but we're going to have to fight through the punches here. And I'm going to trust Howie Roseman. It is now time for Sidney Brown with him leaving. And Sidney Brown is also a very aggressive and strong player. I do have a little bit, some of my concerns in terms of his coverage. And I'm sorry, I have my roommate's dog in the room for our recording. Ace, why don't you come say hi to everybody? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come up here. That's our dog. Sorry, a little sidetracked. Relax, bud. Relax. Come on. Had to watch him, and I thought I'd keep him on for the episode. So sorry about that. But where was I? All right, yeah. So C.J. Garner Johnson. It was a tough loss. What do you know? What do you need? What do you want? Kenyon Green. He was a former first-round pick for the Texans, and I like to have faith in Jeff Stoutland because Mekhi Becton sucked going into this year with the Eagles. He didn't play guard with New York. He was a tackle. He's one of the worst in the league. So it might be a little bit different because Kenyon Green is a guard and has not been good. But, we can trust Jeff Stoutland to possibly make him into a pretty good lineman. We'll have to. So otherwise, I was a little concerned with this move because, I don't know. But maybe Howie Rose and Jeff Stoutland have belief in Kenny Green to be a player for us. So we'll see. So that was the big questionable move for the Eagles that I don't know. We're gonna have to see how that plays out. But I'm gonna trust in what Howie Roseman's doing. And I'm gonna trust that there's stuff that we don't know about in terms of like money, and all those kinds of things that only GMs and front offices know about. So yeah, CJ Garner Johnson's going out. We're losing another veteran in the secondary, and Darius Slay, as he goes to the Steelers on a 1-year, $10 million contract. I had a very, love, not hate relationship with him, but I don't know. He was starting to he's on the end of his career. He's on the backside. There's a lot of moments where I thought that he wasn't very good. He did clutch up in the playoffs in many plays, so he stepped up when we needed it. But, sorry, I'm still out of breath. And before he signed with the Steelers, when he hit free agency, he was saying all these weird things like Odell Beckham Jr. was better than Devontae Smith ever is. That Jalen Hurts, like he didn't name Jalen Hurts as an elite quarterback. I don't know. I hate when guys do that on social media. It's like, man, dude, you just sound like a fool. So I don't know. That kind of made me angry. I don't have any like hatred towards him because he won a ring with us, and he established our corners for the future. He did. But I that's like one of my least favorite things in sports as a fan. I hate when I see players do that. So I might hate a little bit more than some do, but yeah, that really does that rubs me the wrong way. But he won the Super Bowl with us. He played well in the playoffs, and he established our corners for the future. So I thank him for that. But not the end of the world that he's leaving, in my opinion. So Darius Slay, he's gone. Milton Williams, he is also gone. He's going to the Patriots on a 4-year, $104 million deal. This was a little interesting because he originally was supposed to sign with the Panthers, and then the Patriots went up them. He goes to the Patriots. That is the largest contract in Patriots history, which is interesting because obviously they had guys like Tom Brady, and it's Milton Williams. With no disrespect to Milton Williams, good player, but you have to remember that this guy was kind of like a backup for us, like behind Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. I would consider him a backup. He's obviously a starting caliber player, and he played great in the Super Bowl, had the strip sack and all that stuff. But he was not worth this price. Again, this is an example of Super Bowl players being worth this price. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he goes balls out in New England. But with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis as like center of attention, there's gonna be times where Milton Williams is gonna break free on plays. So I don't know. I wanted him back. I did, but because I thought he was perfect for our scheme, for our fit, but not for that price. It wasn't going to happen. So he's gone. Mekhi Becton, this one hurts a little bit because I was one of his biggest advocates when he got here. 4 year, or I was reading the Josh Sweat's contract. 2 years, $20 million to the Chargers. Great signing by the Chargers. We turned this guy's career around. Jeff Stoutland, massive kudos to Jeff Stoutland and the Eagles for believing in this guy. But I really loved him. I loved him throughout the entire year when he was crying when we won the division, his Super Bowl, like everything. This is one of my favorite players. You go back and listen to all the Eagles podcasts. I praise this guy every week. So this one hurts. And we probably went and maybe got Kenyon Green because we knew he was going to go. But I don't know. It's a shame to see him go, especially for just 2 years, $20 million. It is what it is. I would have loved to see him back, but yeah. Next one, Josh Sweat to the Cardinals, 4 years, $76 million. This is another interesting one because Josh Sweat, he was a good player, but he wasn't like outstanding. I was a big Josh Sweat guy. I was. He was a very good player. I didn't think he was unbelievable. He played great in the Super Bowl, and that's another reason why he probably got a couple extra million on top of that. He goes to the Cardinals. I wanted him back too, but again, Nolan Smith, he looked unbelievable this past year when Brandon Graham went down. We have guys that are going to step in, and we're going to be fine there. So it stinks to lose him, but again, what Josh Sweat and Milton Williams signed for, it wasn't going to be worth it. So he's gone as well. This is another, I kind of wanted to match this one, honestly. Oren Burks, he went to the Bengals on a 2-year, $5 million deal. I kind of wanted to match this one because he played great in the playoffs, filling in for Nakobe Dean. And Nakobe Dean is probably still going to be a little iffy, like to start the season, might not be even 1,000% ready yet. And I don't know. I liked the linebacker depth that we have with Zach Ball and Nakobe Dean, and then Oren Burks able to step up. So I did not want to see him go. I thought we could have matched this as well. It is what it is. He's gone. And then the last big one, not necessarily a big one because, well, there's another one that's decent too. But Isaiah Rodgers, he goes to the Vikings on a 2-year, $15 million deal. This was not the end of the world either. He wasn't that big of a standout guy for us. Scheme fit guy, really. So that one's okay. Kenneth Gainwell, he went to the Steelers. This stinks to see. I was a big Kenneth Gainwell guy, but I believe in Will Shipley. I like what we have there. Kenny Pickett, he goes to the Browns in the trade involving Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I really don't have any thoughts. I mean, I liked Kenny Pickett, but I prefer Tanner McKee to be the backup, to be honest with you. And I was saying that throughout the entire season, too. And then Jack Stoll to the Saints, who's kind of just a depth guy for us in the line. So that's everybody going out. It is a lot more underwhelming what we have coming in than what we have going out. So let's jump right into that. Cornerback Adoree Jackson from the Giants. We get him on a 1-year deal. This is a depth move. I think he could be better than Isaiah Rodgers, honestly. We'll see. So, not the worst move here. I'm okay with it. Running back A.J. Dillon. I like this one. He'll mix the. I forgot to say that when I said that Kenneth Gainwell was leaving. I just went to Will Shipley. But I'm an A.J. Dillon guy. I think he'll be a good change of pace guy in terms of when Saquon needs a rest. Strong running back too. Obviously, we know how much these two guys can squat together. I'm not going to talk about that much. But I am a fan of this move as well for the Eagles. I do like A.J. Dillon coming to us. Josh Uche. So that's funny. That's how you pronounce it. So you go from the Ish and Josh and then Uche. So Josh Uche. That's a tough one. We get him from the Chiefs. Another linebacker. Had a great year back in 2022 with the Pats, but he hasn't been as great the last couple of years. He didn't play in the Super Bowl either. So he comes in. We already talked about Kenny Green. Mentioned Dwayne Thompson-Robinson. I'm not a big guy of that, but kick returner / punt returner Avery Williams, because we have not sent an offer to bring Covey yet. So it looks like Avery Williams will be replacing him. Maybe we'll have a little competition there. Obviously, we saw Cooper DeJean field punts too, so I don't know. Linebacker Patrick Johnson, he returns as he was with us a few years back. He played with the Giants last season. And tight end Kylan Granson, tight end Harrison Bryant, many moves there. Long snapper Charlie Huglet, I believe. He's on a one-year deal coming in, meaning Rick Lovato's probably gone, which stinks because he was with us back when we won in 2017 too. So another two-time Super Bowl champion, he is out. So yeah, that's what's coming in. Obviously, a lot more underwhelming, and I'm trying to think of some other news, some rumors. The big thing, too, that we had not discussed, Dallas Goedert is in trade talks, which the Eagles are apparently willing to take a fourth-round pick or something in return, and Bryce Huff, too. I am not a fan of giving up Dallas Goedert for a fourth-round pick. I know we'll have to pay him a little bit more than maybe what he is worth, just, Super Bowl champion, too. I don't know. I'm a big Dallas Goedert guy. He was very clutch in the postseason. Actually, one of our best receivers probably until the Super Bowl, to be honest with you. He made a lot of clutch plays starting in that Packers wildcard round. So I do not want to see him go. He's one of my favorites as a fan, so a little more personal too than what others might say. So I don't want to see him go, but we'll see. Extensions, Zach Bond, 3 years, $51 million. This is awesome. This is what we needed. We're keeping our linebackers in town. Zach Bond and Kobe Dean. That's why I wanted to keep Oren Burks, but it is what it is. This is awesome. He was so good last year. The Bald Eagle. What a story from him, too. And then Saquon Barkley, 2 years, $41 million. He's the first NFL running back getting more than $20 million a year. So some pretty unbelievable stuff there. And, yeah. The plan is to keep the important young guys around by getting them paid and to get more young guys on rookie contracts. So that is why all these guys are leaving. We can't necessarily pay them all. We've obviously kept all of our skilled players and most of our line. That's what it's going to be. We're going to have to lose guys. We're going to get more guys on rookie deals. So, yeah. And then 2026 draft. So here's the interesting thing with all these guys leaving. We get a lot of compensatory. I don't tongue twister there. Not really, but we get compensatory picks for these guys leaving. We will now have 5 of the top 100 picks and 12 overall picks in the 2026 draft. We have over 20 picks in general in the next 2 years. And in the 2025 draft, we currently have our 32nd overall, which is our own 64th overall, which is our own 96th, our own 134th round from the Lions, 161 from the Texans, 164 from the Browns, 165 from the Commanders, and 168, which is our own. So we got a lot of picks coming up, and a lot are in the top 5 rounds. So we're going to get a lot of talent coming in. Obviously, we know our draft history. We've nailed it in the past, and that's what makes it entertaining. So I'm excited to watch this year's draft. But, yeah, that's going to wrap up this podcast. If we have more moves, I'll break them down. Obviously, we'll keep an eye on the Dallas Goedert rumors. I don't want to see him go, but we'll have to see. Maybe we take a tight end in the draft. I don't know. I don't want to. We're rather keep Dallas Goedert, but we're going to have to pay him at some point, I guess. I'll get an update real fast, actually, on his contract. But again, he's like a fan favorite of mine, too, so that might be a little bit more of a personal thing with me. But everybody go follow the Philly Sports Talk Instagram page. That is Philly.sports_talk_. Give a follow to the Twitter that is Philly Talks 2_. And, yeah, sub on our YouTube. But that's going to do it for this one. Everybody, thanks for listening.